Look how full my drink is. I made my Tinto de Verano because it's like nearing summer. This is a really full drink.
Oh my God.
I just put a lot of water in it, a lot of spritz. Welcome to My Lawyer Friend. I'm Anne Easton, your host.
And I'm Brittany Ledford, your co-host. We're here to break down legal topics and lifestyle commentary with our lawyer friend. And
that's us. Casual, informative, and always real. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Before we start, the information, opinions, and recommendations presented on My Lawyer Friend podcast are for general informational purposes only and shouldn't be construed as legal advice on any subject matter. You shouldn't act or refrain from acting on the basis of any content included on this podcast without seeking legal or other professional advice. We are simply providing insight into our past professional experiences, and should you need legal advice, you can certainly contact me, or we can connect you with an able-minded attorney.
Okay, it's episode 3 of a 3-part series. We've talked about you leaving. We've finally unveiled the fact that I'm leaving eventually, sooner than later. So now let's talk about this project that sounds kind of random, but it actually is very relevant to what we're doing. And that's what I'm building.
Right. And it's the garage.
The garage. So for those of you who don't know this, I own property in Los Angeles. And it has on this property is a house. A tiny house.
It's not tiny. It's not tiny. It's a very beautiful Spanish hacienda.
It is cute.
Yes.
And in the backyard, which is huge, is a detached garage. Now, I have all of my man tools and my gardening equipment and
women tools.
Oh yeah, my woman tools and my gardening equipment. I have a lot of things in this garage.
Yeah.
But recently we've been talking and planning and scheming and all the things that Anne, my lawyer friend, and I do.
Yes.
And why let it just sit there while I'm in Italy?
Right.
So I'm converting it to 3 things at once.
Okay, so tell the people what you're going to make.
So first of all, we want to make sure that every inch of this space is utilized while I'm out and I'm not living in this house permanently as I have been. And so the main house will be rented out to a very selective I'll be very selective in who rents this property, but ultimately the ADU will turn into an Airbnb space where that'll be additional income for me to generate while I'm not staying in it. The other use of this property will be essentially like a podcast studio. So we'll make it soundproof. We'll have all the things, all the equipment, all of that. And then when I do come back to LA, the amount of time that I'll be spending, I love the idea of coming back to my property, and not having to get a hotel in what I consider my city. This is my home now.
Right.
I've lived here for a long time. And so I love the fact that I can come back and stay. So that'll be the third use, is that I will actually,
live in it.
Live in it temporarily when I'm doing my thing in Los Angeles.
And I mean, so yeah, like, you'll have it's going to be a podcast studio. Yeah. An Airbnb rental, but also a home.
My home. My temporary.
For your temporary living quarters.
My partial home.
But when you're not there, you get to rent it out, essentially.
I worry about the heartbreak of sitting in my garage at night, sleeping, and people living in my main house and just dreaming about it.
About your beautiful home.
But that's reality. And so.
But you can dream about your beautiful home that you own in the countryside.
I know. Yeah. I know. It will be great. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about this because there's a lot to unfold here.
Yeah. And so I think we put this episode together for, every homeowner who's maybe thought about, making a space like this, or already has a garage or extra space they don't really know what to do with. And we're just gonna exercise that creative energy.
Yeah. Basically. And just to clarify, when we talk about ADU, it's for those of you who aren't as familiar, it's an accessory dwelling unit. And
Accessory dwelling unit, or is it?
accessory dwelling
I always thought it was attached dwelling unit.
because it's not attached.
Right. It's not.
I
Interesting.
actually thought it was additional dwelling unit.
Oh, you know what? I thought maybe it was additional dwelling unit.
I thought so too.
But it's accessory. Interesting.
Dwelling unit.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's actually considered a secondary residential unit on a property, single family property. So this is a single family home. No one else resides or has property on this piece of this plot. And it can be attached to the main house, like a converted garage or a detached garage. In my case, it's completely detached from the main house. This will have its own bathroom, its own kitchen or kitchenette, and some sort of living space that can double as a bedroom as well, because obviously this is going to be a small studio type space. And it's going to be fully functional. So keep in mind that this unit will have, running water and electricity, with enough electricity to provide you with the ability to cook a small meal, have a shower, use the restroom, do the things all of us need to do in our daily living situation. So,
I mean, it seems like it's like an awesome asset. And California, and I think LA specifically, made this much easier to do, like in the recent past too.
Right. So this is something that was a hot topic in 2020. We're now talking about in 2026 because it's relevant for me. And it's something I've been considering for years now. But 2020 was like the big, I guess, the hallmark date, I guess, where things really changed for us in California, as you know, or maybe don't know, but when living in a city like Los Angeles, it's so densely populated. It's very hard to obtain a permit, and the process has just been very arduous in the past. And so California passed a series of laws in 2020 that dramatically streamlined the ADU permitting process. They also reduced the fees, and they eliminated a lot of the obstacles that in the past we as homeowners or property owners would have to go through, that really complicated the situation, complicated everything for us. The goal was to address the housing shortage. This was one way to help with that. And now what it's done for homeowners is it's allowed us to have a quicker pathway, an easier pathway to improving and upgrading our own dwelling, our own property, and basically giving us a pathway for creating a source of income. And in the same time, like more than 6 years ago, obviously, I don't know how long Airbnb has been around, but Airbnb has been around for more than 6 years. It just kind of works in sync with that now, because what a benefit. You have the ability, where it used to be unheard of to rent out your own, go stay at some random person's house, but now it's a thing.
I feel like a lot of people are doing it. I mean, that's what I did when I first came back from France. I stayed in a detached garage that the woman actually called it the mother-in-law suite, I guess.
Carriage house, mother-in-law suite.
Yeah, exactly. And it was lovely. And it's all I really needed for the time being.
Yeah, I think for travelers, it's been such a benefit to come into a space where you have all the amenities that you need, where a hotel, you have like the slamming door. Every door, I feel like people just slam the door. It's loud, and I like quiet. I'm a homebody.
Same, yeah.
And then you don't have a kitchen. You don't have the amenities that you would need to be comfortable when you're traveling. And Airbnb has just been so cool. It's just such a cool thing to have. And so there's the benefit there for travelers. Then there's the benefit, obviously, if I'm going to put the money into something like this, this now becomes an asset.
Right.
So the upgrade to my property not only becomes an asset, but it increases my property value. So we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the thought behind this that Anne and I have talked about is, I have this property. I have no intentions of selling it. It's actually my first home. I obtained this home. I bought this home by myself at the age of 30, and a little bit of sentimental value, but it's my home.
I'm like having trouble with my mic. But yeah, I mean, you like, doesn't it shows up on an appraisal?
Yeah.
It's insurable. It's like a whole thing, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're making a point here that I think is important for people to think about is, you think about the money that you're going to put into something like an ADU, and you're like, gosh, that's $75,000. Number one, where am I going to get the money? Or if I put the money in, will I get returns? Will I only get returns when I sell the house because of the increased value or whatever? But you also have to think about what goes into it.
Right.
And that is the permits, the liability of not having the permits. So
Right.
this pathway has created us, or the stricter laws, the less strict laws, I should say, have created a pathway for us to not carry that liability.
Right.
We actually have the ability to now permit.
Yeah.
And
and
things like insurance,
right.
resale of the property. So when you go to look at a property and they value your property, if you put it for sale,
makes it bigger,
there are issues and I've looked at homes before when I was actually searching for a house to live in. There was a space in one of the homes that was very highly valued, but there was another $100,000 that they were taking off the asking price because their ADU, it was blocked off and was not able to be counted in the purchase.
Wow.
Yeah, the purchase amount because they did not have the proper permits in place. They went ahead and built out instead.
So the permitting matters a lot.
Right. You're leaving money on the table.
Yeah. So just get the permits.
Get the permits.
So it adds value to your property.
Yeah.
And don't do it unpermitted.
Well, yeah. You get the permits, you do it properly, you spend the money, but then you get the returns while you're living in it or while you own it. And then again, when you resell it down the road.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely a business decision.
I think that people don't fully understand what an ADU properly adds to property value. So I want to get into that a little bit more now that I have my lawyer friend here to dispel
Let's talk about it.
Any concerns.
Let's get into it. So walk us through it. How does this work in LA?
So and this is a unique market. I understand it's a larger city, but in a market like this, where a 1-bedroom unit in a more desirable neighborhood, which is where I live, can rent for anywhere upwards of $3,000, $2,000 to $3,000 a month or more in some cases.
Right.
And buyers are increasingly looking at ADUs as income generating assets rather than an extra space. So when a buyer comes in, they're looking at a house saying, hey, this house has the ADU already built in. I can buy this house and I can rent out the back unit and help pay my mortgage that is extremely high because of inflated prices. Right. That's something that adds value and it brings more buyers to the table. So if you're looking to resell, who knows, right? Yeah. It's always a good padding to have. And I've seen estimates in the range of adding an additional $100,000 to the asking price. Yeah.
Totally. And if
or more sometimes.
Yeah, or more.
Because people understand what the value is of generating that income.
They're basically buying 2 properties.
And I'll be interested to hear banks are so difficult, right? And we don't have a banker here today, but I would be interested in learning more about how banks look at it because I'm telling you, anytime I purchase a home, a business, anything, I just want to pull my hair out dealing with a bank. But if they have that additional income generating opportunity, do they consider it? I don't know.
Always. Income generating properties are appraised differently than
and you're living there.
Non-income generating properties. Yeah.
Right. You're living on that property too. So
exactly.
Could pay part of your mortgage.
Yeah,
in this
absolutely.
Situation.
And exactly. A property with a permitted income producing ADU is not just worth more. It's more square footage, as we've said. Yeah.
And that's a great point, Anne. So when you look at, and as I was shopping many years, I guess 10 years now I've been in my home. And when I was shopping for a home, you look at, the heated square footage. So great, you have a garage, but how much of the square footage that you're looking at purchasing is heated usable space? Right. These days, that's much more valuable than having a garage that holds a car. Yeah. So we're now looking we're in a different market, a different clientele and that kind of thing. And so
for sure, people
are looking at that. So it's not necessarily that, it's more about how many bedrooms are you adding to the listing? Yeah. In my case right now, it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, and that's how I purchased the property with a detached garage. Yeah. I never cared about, and I think about it as a buyer 10 years ago. Right. I never cared about the detached garage because I had
whatever.
Yeah, I parked my car in my driveway. I don't want to go all the way back to the back of the house.
And it was storage. It's just storage.
It's been storage, and it's been great that I have the luxury of being able to pay my mortgage and not have to, rely on additional income. But hey, why not? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's like we discussed making it a little bit bigger and make it, I mean, if it's going to have a kitchen and a
A
bathroom.
little kitchenette and a bathroom.
Yeah. Because she does have a really big backyard. And
Yeah.
yeah, you could like forego a little bit
A
of
little
that
more
space.
space. Yeah.
But I mean, then there's like a refinancing angle too, I feel.
So the refinancing is interesting. I've been through one refinancing scenario before because interest rates were much lower during COVID. So I took full advantage of that and luckily
Amazing.
have a very low interest rate on an extremely high mortgage right now, and it helps a lot. But if you ever look into doing any type of upgrades, such as an ADU on your property, you usually can pull out money, they call it like a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. And
got it. Okay.
so if you pull money out of the equity that's already existing from, the moment that you bought your house to now what it's worth, this is how this is going to work. You have equity in your home.
Okay.
Because of two things. You've been paying your mortgage on time every month, and obviously you're paying down the loan, the principal and interest. And then you also have over time the inflated value because there's a higher demand, a higher need for property. And so that innately raises the value. Right. So you have built-in equity, which in my case, in 5 years, my home equity doubled, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
But in a city like this, and the timing and all was great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So imagine if you do something like putting your time and energy and financial resources into building an ADU, which could cost you, with the right people, $75,000 to $100,000 maybe.
Right.
Sometimes less, but usually about that range. Not only can you take money out from the equity that you've already acquired.
Right.
So essentially that money, you don't have to go digging for the money in your savings account or even taking out an additional loan. They just tack it on to your mortgage, right?
Wow.
So if you're doing that and then it's already going to be an income generating situation, that money, when you're renting it out each month, Airbnb, podcast studio, whatever it may be, will then help pay down that loan itself.
That's incredible.
While also increasing the value of the full property. So the house was worth, let's do round numbers.
This seems like a no-brainer, guys.
Let's do round numbers.
Yeah.
Let's say $1 million home, which is, I don't know that exists anymore in LA, but or in the areas that we live in, but $1 million flat, and then you increase your value by $1 million, by another 150,000. So because you built this ADU, let's say you built it for 75,000. There you go, right there.
Yeah,
you have money
just already got it.
You have equity built into that, plus cash generating
for sure.
Yeah, it's revenue
and
generating.
It's a write-off.
And you make a really good point.
Yeah.
So you're also renting property. So anytime you do rent property, you have the depreciation, which you can also write off on your taxes, as well as the interest, which you'll be writing off on mortgage as well. So many benefits to it. And it's one of those things where it's like why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And now the city 6 years ago has made it a lot. I would say in the past, why not would be, well, it's a headache.
It's a headache.
It's hard, a lot of heartburn, like stress and anguish dealing with the city of Los Angeles. But now these measures that have been put in place are designed to make it easier for people like myself and hopefully alleviate some of our issues with the housing shortage that we currently have.
Yeah.
So,
which is amazing. I mean, and I'm not sure that it really will operate as the shortage housing shortage. It won't operate to assist with that and that's the thing that's kind of a bummer is it has, like, you don't want someone on your property who may not treat it the way that you would want to treat it. People who are paying generally treat it very well. And you want it to be income generating because this is your property and you want it to make money.
Well, I think what you're saying is you're referring to the housing shortage being that we do have
in Los Angeles
overflow of unhoused people. That is a whole other category, and it's so unfortunate. And I hope that our city is able to come up with a more compassionate option for the people that
absolutely
greatly deserve better.
Yeah.
And that's something that obviously I don't want to get into politics, but on the other side of it, we're also talking about people who are working people who have the fortune of having a job and housing and ability to pay for it. And, that category of people is what we're talking about, is making it so that it's an affordable living situation, $2,000 versus $3,600 or $4,000.
Right.
Which that is a supreme mortgage for people in any other city, state, area, most likely.
Absolutely.
And so that's where it really comes down to providing, housing for the people that are looking for just something that's sustainable for them, and they're working a regular job that allows them the ability. I mean, even to me, $2,000 is a crazy amount of money to spend on rent.
I know.
But ultimately, that's the value of what.
That's how much it costs. Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, but the attached place that I was staying, it was, I spoke with the woman. She gave me a very good deal. I got very, very lucky because I had met her previously. She gave it to me for half the price, but she was charging for a detached garage for an Airbnb. It was $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
So let's talk specifically about your plan. And I think people will find this interesting because it's not doing just one thing. A lot of people just have they make their ADU into an Airbnb or just a rental unit, but you're doing 3 things with it. What are you doing?
Right. So I'll be doing 3 things where, if you think about a regular Airbnb, you go into, those of you who've rented one out, which most people have, it's a space, it's a livable space, and it usually has bathroom, kitchenette, all the things. The one thing that I'm throwing into the mix, which is a little bit different, and I think smart, but we'll see how it rolls out, is I'm turning this into a multi-use space where there's a space where it's going to be set up for podcast recording.
Right.
And I think the impetus for this was really because we are right now at the mercy of podcast studio schedules,
right,
travel time, all of the things that come, and 2 people scheduled. You and I are both working professionals.
Yeah.
When can we both meet? If we take one of the variables out, being location and schedule, I guess two variables in one.
Yeah.
Then it helps us out a lot. When you are here in the US, then you and I can both just walk to my backyard into my podcast studio and film when we want to.
Right.
That's
or
such
we
a
could
thing.
Rent it out to somebody.
That was the next thing, and you're in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also thinking of, we're in a place where now a lot of people are doing podcasts, and we're in a city where there's a lot of production happening. And so as we've been in this world, we've met so many podcasters that are in need of a space. And so I think just making it accessible to people and affordable, and creating a space as lovely as where we are now. I love everything about this. The host and everything has been so great, and I aspire to have something similar. And so I think it just, considering it, being in business, I'm always thinking about diversifying my revenue and diversifying my investments.
Right.
And so I think about this in the same way, is diversifying revenue. So Airbnb, sure, it's great, but not every single day. It's not that 30 days out of the calendar month we're going to have somebody renting out that space to generate the revenue.
Yeah.
The days that we don't, we have revenue coming in from podcasts.
Exactly.
So people can rent that out. And it's just it's a completely different source of income. It's
it's a good one.
That's my thought on it. And then the third piece just being the convenience of me being able to block off these 2 weeks. I'm going to be in LA. Don't book anything.
Right.
I'm staying there. It's my space.
Yes, exactly. And that's what you get to do. And that's what a lot of people who own Airbnbs have that, or own businesses
they have
like
that
this.
benefit.
They block it off for themselves.
Free hotel.
Exactly.
And it's
free.
just more comfortable. It's my property. It's my space. And
you can check up on your property.
Yeah, that's true. I can spy.
Exactly.
I mean, not spy in the windows, but obviously that's creepy. But
check to make sure that everything's in in order.
In working order. Yeah. So that's really the way we're going to be setting it up. So there's a lot to think about.
Right. I mean, so it means that all of the equipment stays set up, and you don't have to break anything down or rebuild it. And we know that stuff takes forever. God, when we were doing it in your house, it would take an hour and a half before we can even sit down and talk about filming.
Exactly. And so this will be a permanent setup with professional equipment, very much like what we have here. And it'll be in a place where it's scheduled. We've already blocked it off. Like no one else is going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't have to fight somebody else for the schedule because it's my schedule.
Right.
It's my calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm excited about that. But just keeping in mind that doing something like this means that I'm going to be investing a little bit more money on proper acoustics, proper equipment. So this goes a little bit further than your typical ADU where you're going to build this out, pay for the permits, pay for the build out, and then pay for the design and the actual treatment of it. So, you know, decorating and all the little details. I'm taking it a little bit further in this case, and I'll be actually buying the equipment, making sure the acoustics are proper for us to be able to record. So
right, and it'll look like an aesthetic that we like,
and
and
nice
developing
and pretty
and
that.
clean and white, and
designing.
my
aesthetic.
I know,
very clean and white.
I know, I'm gonna love it.
I do like those whitewash
that makes
walls.
me feel so calm.
Yeah,
I really like
soothing.
it. Yes.
So for you guys who don't know, my house is you had said it before, it's a Spanish
hacienda.
She calls it a hacienda. It's adorable, adobe, but it's everything. And when I bought the house, I had a vision. It's changed a few times, but pretty much stayed the same. And the walls, everything in the house is whitewash, just a whitewash, but a soothing white. It's not too harsh on the eyes, and it's just, even my bathroom is like a spa.
Right. It really
it's like,
is.
It is.
I really love it. And she has like gold accents.
It's really
all over
pretty.
The place. It's really very nice.
Like
kind of like
architecture,
brassy too. Not brass.
The brassy, it's the
sort
brassy.
Of like brushed
gold.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
Very soothing. So
is.
We'll see what this turns out to look like.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone would want to rent your place.
But yeah, I'm excited for it the more we talk about it. But
Yeah.
you know, also the main house itself will be like a rental itself, and those people will have to understand. You will have this space, and sure, you have a backyard and it's a secure backyard.
Yeah.
All the things. But part of their agreement, which we should do a podcast about, is me developing the contract for the future renters. But because it's a little bit more unique. It's like you will be renting this home, but the home itself will be the ADU in the back. It will also be a short-term rental managed by some, the same people, but you will have people coming in and out, and you must be okay with that. Which for me will probably mean that maybe that the actual rental price, the monthly price, might be a little bit less than typical. But I don't know if I have to negotiate on that or not. It just depends. You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. But that's just my initial thought. I don't know what the market is like.
I know and these things change. It's just things that I'm constantly thinking about.
But yeah, I mean, you could consider it for sure.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Well, so the main house will be rented out while you're away. Is the plan, right?
Yeah, and then I'll come home to the ADU when I'm in the U.S. in California. I have 2 states to visit, so luckily Georgia is very much a little bit closer to Italy than California, but then I'll be back to California.
I don't know. I think all of this is really very smart. I love this idea, and I'm so excited that we're going to have this option. I mean, I just feel like our lives are opening up.
Yeah,
it feels good.
It is exciting. I think for me, I have such a hold on this home because I was 30 years old. I bought this home at a time where it was unheard of. It was crazy when I bought the home. The house was expensive, and now it's doubled in value. And it's not even the value. It's my I call it my little shack, but it's my little home.
It's not a shack.
And I feel like when I make this move, I'm letting so many things go. But ultimately, I have to remember that doing these things and creating this plan is affording me the ability to actually keep it and not let it go.
Right.
So it is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And having the legal guidance is very important and very, very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that I have to consider when living in Italy is rental income.
Right.
And I will be receiving rental income. So, Anne, it's time for you to, I've talked a lot on this. I never talked this much. So it's your turn. What do I need to know? I'm asking my lawyer friend.
Well, I mean, some of the same things that I answered about my own move to Paris. First and foremost, rental income here in the U.S. it's a U.S. property. So it's U.S. sourced income. You're a U.S. citizen. and you file U.S. taxes. That income goes on your U.S. Tax return, regardless of where you are physically and where it's and when it's generated, essentially. Being in Italy doesn't exempt you from your U.S. tax obligations because you're a U.S. citizen, and especially because it's money that's being generated on a property in L.A. It's kind of similar to why I have to be taxed with my law firm here in California as a California lawyer.
It's an entity. It's a United States-based entity.
Yeah, exactly.
And this will be as well, an LLC. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And as it should be.
As it should be.
Yeah. And we could call it MLF Properties.
We can.
Oh my gosh.
That's actually what I'm going to do.
We're creating an empire.
So basically you're telling me that I can't just not
put these feet out.
My feet.
You shouldn't put the feet out. We can't give these for free. Just give them the feet shots.
I know. We need to save those for, what is it? OnlyFans?
For OnlyFans. But it's also like, you shouldn't give them for free. Put your shoes on.
You should cut all this out.
This is like the best part of the show.
This is when the wine kicks in.
I know. We did have, we're having Tinto de
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. Okay.
So you're saying I basically with taxes, I can't just not report it, but.
Yeah, you have to. Just because you're abroad doesn't mean that you don't have to report it. Airbnb and most other property management platforms generate 1099s, which is actually really helpful.
Yeah.
They report to the IRS directly.
They do direct
which
reporting.
Which is super, super easy. So that income is already being reported whether you declare it or not.
Yeah.
And the good news is that rental income comes with legitimate deductions, like we mentioned earlier, like property management fees, maintenance, repairs, insurance, mortgage interest, depreciation. And the net taxable income is often significantly lower than the gross rental income. But, again, this is where a CPA who understands rental property and, expat tax situations, it's very essential because I'm not that person. But these are the areas that you can definitely figure out on your own.
I think you make an
These
important...
These are not areas that you can figure out
on your own. And as she's saying, and I agree, and I think this is why I always say the best gift you can give yourself is a really good CPA. Obviously, a really good attorney on retainer if you need it. But a really good CPA, no matter who you are, what you're doing, because this makes all the difference.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the overarching principle from these episodes is hire an attorney, hire a tax consultant if you want to move abroad, but also have those people here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially if you're a business owner, you need those professionals to be helping you.
For sure.
Or at least providing some insight.
Yeah. And I think Airbnb has some compliance requirements as well. I want to speak to that. You're going to speak to this, I think, for me, because this is something that we need to talk about. But the other thing is we keep saying Airbnb. There are other platforms I cannot recommend. I've had bad experiences, but whatever. I won't say their names. But Airbnb have had fantastic experiences with on both sides as a owner and a renter, right?
Yeah.
But also keep in mind, if you build your own brand in this day and time where everyone has their own, a lot of people are digital creators, whatever it may be, you don't have to go through Airbnb. You can rent out, you can build your own website, build your own management process. However, Airbnb does provide certain protections that you yourself will then need to make sure that you're providing as well, like insurance level,
and they
layers of insurance and
exactly
requirements, and they do the reporting for you for taxes, things like that. So keep that in mind and weigh that on what's most important to you. It's not so much about keeping all of the revenue. It's more about what's, the right fit for you,
right,
and the right protections in place. If you're going to provide those protections for yourself, great, do it. But sometimes Airbnb really takes that unnecessary work off your plate.
I totally agree. And I mean, but Airbnb is subject to short-term rental regulations
as we were
in
saying,
LA.
yes.
And those are changing constantly too. And using a platform like Airbnb that has all of these things in place and is constantly updating their regulations. I actually almost took a job at Airbnb as counsel, like general counsel for them. But I didn't want to do it because this is what it entails.
Yeah.
It entails understanding all of these changing laws. But yeah, so Ellie has very specific rules about short-term rentals, including registration requirements and in some cases primary residence requirements. And so, you know, before you even list your ADU on Airbnb, you have to make sure you understand all of these rules. Because, you know, there are rental ordinances and, like, you know, you have to know what is required for a non-primary residence of an ADU rental. But the rules are evolving, as rules like that often do. And what's true right now might be different a couple of years from now. So, yeah, that's why you should maybe use Airbnb, because they'll be updating those rules.
It streamlines a lot of the paperwork and research and all of that. There are some people who are a little bit more savvy when it comes to rental properties and things like that. And I think I've seen them before where they create their own brand. They have their own website and they have their own. You've got to think, when you're searching for a place, you have to know where to go. So that is a great place to go and just search in general Los Angeles, California, and your name pops up. So you would have to have enough of a following to direct the traffic to your own brand.
Right.
So, but I wanted to point out that it is an option for those who have that.
For sure.
And most of those people have already figured that out.
I think so too.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this has been great. Like,
pretty informative.
I think it's like been super informative. I feel like I learned some things even. And I mean, we just finished like we're finishing right now our 3-episode series.
Paris.
Yeah.
Italy.
Paris. And
a garage in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's what our episodes were about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you missed any of the other episodes, go back. We talked about immigrating to Paris, immigrating to Italy with some potbelly pigs. And this 3rd episode is about your own additional dwelling unit. Sorry, not additional, accessory dwelling unit.
Yes.
Yeah,
accessory dwelling unit. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you've been following it, you know, thank you. If you are just joining us now, go back and watch the others so you know what we're doing. Because, you know, we made this content not just to highlight our own lives and what we're doing, but we're documenting what we're doing in real time because we're learning it in real time and we want to share those insights with you guys.
Yeah.
And you know, we're building the lives that we actually want, and it requires learning new things in that process. But so we've provided some legal realities behind it and the complications included, and, you know, the private jet with potbelly pigs.
But
together.
In all of that, thank you for listening. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your interest. And to reward you all, we have some free checklists. Can you tell them a little bit about those?
I guess so. I will. I mean, gosh, so much work. We have the I'm moving to Paris, or, you know, the moving abroad checklist. Which includes, you know, the visa prep, banking, pets, but also in Paris, when you get there, if you're like looking for some place to live, it's difficult to find an apartment there, and I could maybe do another episode on that. But it's called a dossier, which is your rental application. And then, you know, we also talk about the pre-departure sprint of everything you have to do before you leave, including selling furniture and doing all of that. And then, you know, everything that I went through to get out the door by April 20th.
21st. Don't make it.
Well, I arrive on the 21st.
You're leaving sooner than I thought.
I know.
How
leave
dare
on
you?
a Monday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we also have the I own a business, how do I move abroad checklist,
right?
Which also has the visa categories, business structure considerations, tax treaty basics, obviously understanding that we are not tax attorneys or tax advisors, but we can give you the information that we've learned ourselves. And it's, you know, all the things that you need to get set up before you go, and the questions that we all had before we got organized.
And if you want to go deeper, we're working on something which is a full paid guide. We have a lot of free resources for you to just kind of get your feet wet with us, see what we're about. But the full paid guide is Anne's complete relocation story. And it really includes like the visa information, the banks, the animals, the lease negotiation in French, and the French tenant law, I should say. Landlord dispute issues, business structure, all of the things that we've talked about in previous episodes. There are paid versions with a little more detail. It goes a long way. She's been through a lot. I've been through a lot. We're going through a lot, and we want to take you on our journey so that you can learn from us and what we're experiencing. And we do take a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're about. So,
we also have an ADU checklist too that we're going to be putting together too.
We have a lot. There's a lot. Just check it out. You'll see the whole library online.
But, I've said from the beginning that I think when we started this that I would share everything on my own terms. And I think that that's what we're doing. We're sharing it on our own terms when it's ready. And, we're even filming the podcast that way and releasing it that way because it's being released on our own terms. And we understand what the cadence is of releasing, every week. And we're going to try to get there one day, but that's what we're building to.
2 things before we go. We're now going to be on Riverside after she departs for most of the time, and we'll figure that out as we go. And we will still have good studio quality. Show is not going anywhere, but we're also going to be recording this summer in New York. So please send in your questions. We have so many questions already coming in, so much interest that's brewing, and we just started this, so we cannot imagine where this is going to head in the future with the interest that we've already acquired. So keep in mind, your question could actually become one of our episodes.
Exactly.
We need your questions, and we read them, we like them, and we will use them.
Yes, we absolutely will. And I answered a question the other day that kind of dominoed into multiple other questions. And because of that, we're actually going to do an episode on it.
Exactly.
And it's for content creators, actually. And likeness and voice rights and the issues surrounding AI and the terms of service on the different platforms. It's going to be a really great episode, and that's coming soon.
Guys, go to mylawyerfriendpodcast.com, submit your questions, send your comments, send your love, send your hate. We don't care. Send it all. We're excited to hear from you. This
Maybe
is
not your hate, but we're still excited to hear from you.
This is My Lawyer Friend. I'm Brittany, your business buddy.
And I'm Anne, your lawyer friend.
We'll be calling you probably from a farmhouse in Tuscany soon, or
from my beautiful penthouse. It sounds really cool when I say it's a penthouse. It's just the top floor of my Paris apartment.
We're here for you wherever we are in the world.
Yes, indeed we are. Thanks for joining us. We're here for you.